Once upon a time, there was a young girl who was exceptionally sweet and gentle. She was also very pretty. Her mother had died when she was a small child, and her father married for his second wife a haughty and proud and cruel woman. She had 2 daughters who resembled her in every way. They were haughty and proud and cruel, too, and also not so pretty. The stepmother hated the young girl because she made her own daughters appear more hateful and less pretty than ever. So she made her do all of the work around the house. When she had finished her work, the young girl used to sit among the cinders in the corner of the chimney, and it was from this habit that she came to be known as Cinderella. But most of the time, it was Cinderella who had to wash the dishes, sweep the floors, make the beds, clean the windows, and work and work and work and work.
Work and work and work and work and work and dust the rooms and mop the floor. Just clean them once and then once more. You work and work and work, and goodness knows when all your other work is done, why, you can have a load of fun by washing all the family's dirty clothes. Shine up every pot and pan till everything is spick and span. You work and work and work, it's never through. Before you climb into your bed, you'll find there's time to bake some bread or cook a pot or 2 of gooey stew. Polish up each window pane and get out every spot and stain. You'll work and work and work, and when you're through, roll up your sleeves, stick out your chin. It's time to start right in again and work 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 and work. I'm tired.
It happened that the king's son decided to give a ball, and invitations were sent throughout the land. Cinderella's stepsisters were invited, among others, for although they were not particularly well liked, they were well known. For days after receiving the invitations, they could talk of nothing else.
I don't know what to wear. I have so many gowns to choose from.
I think that I'll have a new gown made for the occasion.
Well, now, I don't know whether I should wear the one that I had last year or try to get...
Finally, the day of the ball arrived. Cinderella, who had been up since dawn, was busy in the kitchen, cooking and scrubbing and daydreaming.
I wish that I were going to the ball this evening. Oh, how I would love to gaze at all the ladies in their beautiful gowns and the gentlemen in their fine clothes, and hear the music and see the dancing. Look at me. How could I go looking the way I do? My hair is straight and my dress is tattered and torn, and besides, I wasn't invited. But if I had been, I think this would be the happiest day of my life. I'd love to go to the ball this evening, dance with them all at the ball this evening. Everyone would ask, who can she be? The stars that twinkle in the sky would wink, and for a moment I would not be just plain me.
Cinderella's stepsisters heard her, and they laughed cruelly.
So you would like to go to the ball this evening, Cinderella? Why don't you come along?
Yes, and I'm sure with all of the guests, the king will need some extra help in the kitchen.
Oh, perhaps the palace chimney sweeps are holding their annual dance.
You could wear your dingy gray.
Cinderella go to the ball? That's the funniest story I've heard in a long time. But enough of all this talk. Cinderella, just don't sit there. We must soon be dressed.
Silks and satins, velvet ribbons, have they all been pressed?
Should I wear my pink or green?
I think I'll wear my black.
We'll tell you all about the ball when we get back. Hook me up, that's much too tight.
Where's that bit of lace?
Curl my hair and shine my shoes.
Put powder on my face.
Hurry, get my purse and gloves.
Have you seen my comb?
We'll tell you all about the ball when we get home. And if you're good and kind and sweet, and if you still insist, we'll tell you all about the ball, how it looked,
And who was there?
and what was said.
By whom and where?
We'll tell you all about the ball and what you've missed. I don't know what I'm going to do. My
Cinderella,
goodness,
for
I've asked her 1,000
heaven's sakes,
times.
will
For
you
heaven's
never
sake, she doesn't
learn?
do it. Oh, find my stocking.
Fix that hem.
And don't forget, my dear, to draw my back.
That's much too
And
hot.
sister, while you're here, get my pearls and perfume.
Brush the dust off my chapeau.
And would you fix a snack or two before we go?
Cinderella, hurry up. The time is getting late.
You've got 40 things to do, and we must leave by 8.
Cinderella, call a
That
coach.
girl will never learn. We'll tell you all about the ball when we return. And if you're good and kind and sweet, and if you still insist, we'll tell you all about the ball, how it looked,
And who was there?
and what was said.
By whom and where?
We'll tell you all about the ball and what you've missed.
At last, the two stepsisters were ready, and away they went. Cinderella watched them as long as she could keep them in sight. But when she could no longer see them, she began to cry. Suddenly, she felt a light tap on her shoulder, and raising her head, saw standing in front of her the most beautiful lady that she had ever seen. Her dress was of the finest silk, and tiny diamonds sparkled in her hair.
Who are you?
I am your fairy godmother. Tell me, Cinderella, why are you crying?
I would like to.
You would like to go to the ball, is that it?
Oh, yes.
Well, perhaps I can help you.
But I have no beautiful clothes.
And with those words, the fairy godmother touched Cinderella with her wand. And on the instant, her clothes were changed into garments of gold and silver cloth, all covered with jewels. And in place of her worn shoes, she now wore a pair of glass slippers, the prettiest in the world.
Oh, fairy godmother, thank you, thank you. I'm on my way to the ball this evening. Dance with them all at the ball this evening. Everyone will ask, who can she be? Knights and barons, dukes and earls will overlook the other girls to dance with me. But wait, how am I to get there? I guess that I could walk to the palace, but I am sure the ball would be over by the time I arrived.
Be patient, my child. You shall arrive at the ball in the manner of a grand princess. Bring me that pumpkin there on the table.
Cinderella went at once and brought the pumpkin to her fairy godmother, wondering how a pumpkin could help take her to the ball. Her fairy godmother scooped it out, and when only the rind was left, struck it with her wand. Instantly the pumpkin was changed into a beautiful coach, gilded all over. Then she went and looked in the mousetrap, where she found 6 live mice. She told Cinderella to lift the door of the mousetrap a little, and as each mouse came out, she gave it a tap with her wand. And it was changed into a white horse, and soon a fine team of 6 white horses was standing in front of the coach.
And now, Cinderella, we must find a coachman.
I will go and see if there is a rat in the rat trap. We could make a coachman of him.
Quite right. Go and see.
Cinderella brought in the trap, which contained a very big rat with long whiskers. As soon as the fairy godmother touched him, he turned into a fat coachman with the largest mustache that had ever been seen. Then the fairy godmother told Cinderella to go into the garden and bring the 6 lizards, which she would find behind the watering can. No sooner had they been brought than they were turned into 6 footmen, who at once climbed up behind the coach in their braided liveries and hung on as if they had never done anything else all their lives.
There you are, my dear. You now have a way of going to the ball. Are you happy?
Oh, yes, fairy godmother. Although I can't begin to understand what has happened. Mice, lizards, a rat, a pumpkin, and me. We've all been changed into something quite beautiful. It's all a mystery to me.
The coachman gave a low bow to Cinderella. "There's no mystery, Cinderella. In this day and age, anything can happen."
Anything can happen in this day and age. Anything can happen at all.
The mice are 6 white horses. The pumpkin's now a coach.
The rat is now the coachman.
Driving to the ball.
The lizards are now footmen with their powdered wigs all curled.
Oh, anything can happen in this crazy, crazy world.
The horses nibble cheeses.
The coachman builds a nest.
The footmen look like lobsters in their scarlet-collared vests.
The coach is just about the finest we have ever seen.
But you should really see it on the night of Halloween.
Anything can happen in this day and age. Anything can happen at all. The mice are 6 white horses. The pumpkin's now a coach. The rat is now the coachman, driving to the ball. The lizards are now footmen with their powdered wigs all curled. Oh, anything can happen in this crazy, crazy world.
Does that make it any clearer, Your Highness?
I think so. Can I go now, fairy godmother?
Before you go, there is one thing that you must remember, my child. You must not stay at the ball after midnight, for if you do, your coach will once again be a pumpkin. Your horses will turn back into mice. Your elegant footmen will become lizards again, and your fine clothes will change back to the tattered rags you were wearing before I heard you crying.
And what about me?
Oh, yes, you, coachman, you will be a rat once again.
Ah! Cinderella promised her fairy godmother that she would not fail to leave the ball before midnight, and away she went, beside herself with delight. The king's son, when he was told of the arrival of a great princess whom nobody knew, went out to receive her. He helped her down from the coach and led her into the hall, where the guests were all assembled. At once there fell a great silence. The dancers stopped. The violins played no more, so rapt was the attention which everybody bestowed upon the superb beauty of the unknown guest.
Who is she?
What is her name? I've never seen her before. Yes, she certainly is. I haven't seen her.
The king's son gave her the seat of honor, and at once begged the privilege of being her partner in the dance. For the entire evening he was by her side and paid her endless compliments. Cinderella enjoyed herself so much that she forgot her fairy godmother's bidding completely. But when the first stroke of midnight fell upon her ears, she rose and fled nimbly as a fawn. Too late, too late! The prince followed her, but the princess had vanished. Only a ragged girl and a pumpkin and some mice, a rat and some lizards were outside the great palace. She let fall one of her glass slippers, however, and the prince picked it up with tender care. "Where has she gone?" he thought. "I must find her." Cinderella ran all the way home in tears. When she reached home, she was out of breath, without coach, without footman, without coachman or horses. Nothing remained of all her splendid clothes except one of the little glass slippers.